I'm the ASMR psychologist. Welcome to my channel. Now, in today's sleep clinic, I'm going to be showing you what you need to do if you can't fall asleep. Because that is a really distressing and uncomfortable problem to have, and it's very fixable, so you don't need to be struggling with this. Now, if you like this type of video, my sleep clinics, let me know by giving this video an up thumb so that I know to make more of them. Now, what do you do if you can't fall asleep quickly and easily? And by that, I guess I mean within about 10 to 15 minutes of getting into bed. Well, first of all, hopefully you watched my previous sleep clinic video where I shared with you the best routine to follow to ensure a good night's sleep. Now, if you didn't, you should watch it here. It should pop up on the screen. And the reason that you should watch it is this is the most effective way of ensuring a good night's sleep. It's the first thing that I always do with my patients who are struggling with insomnia or sleep problems of any type. However, if you have been following this routine for at least 7 days, ideally 10 consecutive days, following it religiously without a break, but you still aren't falling asleep quickly, here's what you need to do. Okay, so after 10 minutes of lying in bed trying to fall asleep, you need to get up. Now, this might sound a bit counterintuitive, but there is a good reason. We learn very quickly. We can learn very quickly that bed is for sleeping, but equally quickly we can learn bed is for lying awake, worrying, and we don't want to be teaching ourselves that lesson. So you need to get up, do a quick time check, and if you have been lying there for longer than, well, I would say 10 minutes, you need to get up. Before I tell you what to do next, I'm going to explain why falling asleep can be difficult sometimes. In essence, it's because we can't let go of our day. That's how it begins. And then we're lying there in bed thinking about our day, unable to let it go. And we notice, I've been lying here for a while, I'm not falling asleep. And we make an interpretation, usually an unhelpful one. Oh, I'm going to be really tired in the morning. I'm not going to be able to cope with my day. I'm going to be lying here for hours and it's going to be awful. Something along those lines, your individual variation on that, probably. Now, this particular type of thought triggers to the brain that there's a danger. And so it switches on our sympathetic nervous system. And you might have heard this spoken about as the fight or flight system. And it's the part of our nervous system that is engaged when there is a danger or a challenge ahead of us. And adrenaline is released into our bloodstream to help us to deal with that challenge or that danger. which is great if there is a challenge or we are in danger. It kind of puts us on red alert. But obviously that is not a good place to be in if we're trying to fall asleep. Now, then what happens, and you might have noticed this, once you're in that state, it's easy to get stuck in that state. I'm going to show you a little diagram to explain why. Now, psychologists call it mood congruent thinking. And it's when, once we are feeling a particular way, we can access similar types of thoughts much more easily. So you might have noticed that when you're worrying about one thing, all of a sudden you're worrying about 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 things. So you might begin lying in bed, worrying about the fact you can't sleep, and that worry opens the door to lots of other worries. And then what happens is our body thinks, our mind thinks, we're really in danger here. We better release the second stress hormone, which is cortisol. So now you've got 2 stress hormones buzzing around in your body, and it's going to be impossible to sleep. And there's a survival reason, an evolutionary reason why this is the case, why our body won't let us sleep when it thinks we're in danger. It's not the best idea to lie down and have a nap if we're being chased by something. The difficulty is that part of our body, our sympathetic nervous system, has been switched on when it doesn't need to be switched on. The only way out of this is to switch it off and switch on the equivalent alternative nervous system for sleep. It's called the rest and digest part of our nervous system, or the parasympathetic nervous system. Okay, so I'm basically going to show you how to do that. But it's really important that this whole process isn't happening in bed, because your mind will then learn, this is what I do in bed, which is not good. So get up, go and sit somewhere else, somewhere nice. You want this to be as nice as it can be. So a comfy chair, or make yourself a cosy little nook if you anticipate that you might be doing this for a few nights. Now, in this particular state, when our sympathetic nervous system has been triggered in this way, our thinking becomes very circular. Round and round and round and round and round and round and round. And that's one of the reasons that it feels so hard to sleep. It's so hectic, it's a bit frantic. So once you're sitting in your comfy chair, the first thing you need to do is get a pen and a piece of paper. This is really important, not the notes on your phone. There's something very calming and slowing and clarifying about writing. You don't want to be tapping into your phone. It doesn't work in the same way. So what I want you to do, paper, pen, begin to write your thoughts. And what this process does, is it changes the very circular thinking into a linear process. It gives your thoughts a beginning and, more importantly, an end. And at that end, that is where your sympathetic nervous system is going to switch off. And you want to just write until you can't write anymore. And some nights that will be 2 or 3 minutes, other nights you may be writing for 20 minutes, half an hour. But just write. Each time you go through this process, it will become shorter. Okay, so once that's done, take a pause. Then reread what you've written. There's something very powerful about doing that. It kind of helps us to just step back, creates a bit of distance between us and the thoughts, and often that is enough for us to think, I don't need to be thinking any more about that. I can leave that there. If that doesn't happen, make an arrangement with yourself to sit down and review these thoughts tomorrow. So whenever it is you think, okay, well, I'll do it at 10 o'clock or I'll do it after lunch or whenever it is. So you can kind of contain it all somewhere else, knowing that you'll come back to it. Once you've done that, we need to still the mind to prepare it for bed. Now I've done a slightly longer video on how to calm your mind or how to still your mind. I'll try and put the link, remember to put the link in the description. If I don't, remind me. But I'll give you a brief overview now. It's very simple. You just close your eyes. Maybe do it with me now. Close your eyes and focus on your feet as they rest on the floor. Notice them, that's all. Notice how they feel, sitting on the floor. And then move up and notice your bottom, resting on the chair. And move your attention between those 2 points, maybe counting to 5 at each resting point. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at your feet, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at your bottom. And you slow the speed to whatever suits you best. And then, and only then, when you feel ready to get back into bed and try to sleep. While you're lying in bed, trying to sleep, another thing you can do is just follow your breath. Almost saying in your mind, in and out, in and out. That just draws your mind away from your day, helps you to let go. Now, here's the important part. If after 10 minutes you've not fallen asleep, you need to get up and run through this whole process again. Now, that might sound a bit daunting, but I promise you, you won't have to run through it very many times, and each night you will run through it less and less. Combine this with the routine that we discussed in the last sleep clinic, and for 99% of the population, no more sleep problems. Okay. If you do still have sleep problems, that could be as a result of a number of different issues that are kind of outside of this video. But as I said, 99% of the population, this will work for you, for them. Okay. If you are still struggling, of course, message me and we can talk about what you do then. Okay. So, I hope that this was helpful and enjoyable to watch. If you are interested in either supporting me or just some exclusive content, you can find that just here. The link to my Patreon account should pop up on the screen. Okay. So, thank you for watching today. And hopefully I will see you at the same time next week for more Sleep Clinic.